All right, so I'm just coming on here to formally kind of apologize. So we've been running into a lot of issues in regards to internet filming, the accessibility of the new studio. But what I will say is the video that you're about to watch obviously was recorded the day after Trump's assassination attempt. And it's obviously been quite some time since then, so I do apologize if any of the information that we had was incorrect. I'm pretty certain that we were pretty spot on with everything, even to this point. It is now a week and a half later, almost 2 weeks later. It happened on the 13th. That is now the 22nd when this is going to be uploaded. But with that being said, there's a lot more conspiracy into it. More than one shooter. Or there's a lot that we weren't able to fully put into this video just because no one knew answers just yet. So it's still a great video, and almost everything that we have in this video is spot on. Actually, not almost all of it is spot on. There's just a few things that we're missing. Unfortunately, we didn't wait long enough to be able to put that out. But yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoy the video, and we will see you later. Peace out.
Welcome to Down the Badgerhole. I'm Drew.
I'm Chandler.
We are in the first iteration of our new studio.
A lot will change.
It's gonna get better.
And I would like to apologize.
Yeah.
We're
dealing with poor internet.
Very, very garbage internet.
Which is going to be rectified tomorrow, hopefully. We are dealing with a lot of stuff. We also had been working our asses off all week to
move
here. And we're almost done getting your stuff here, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
Most of the shit that's still at the apartment's trash.
Great.
Yeah.
A dump run or two. But we actually weren't even going to do a video this week simply because we're both exhausted. But then somebody tried to shoot Donald Trump, or did successfully shoot Donald Trump while he was giving a speech in Pennsylvania. So we're going to just kind of bullshit a little bit today and talk about some of the weirdness surrounding that. We're going to try very hard not to get political at all.
That's not going to happen.
Well, we're going to try.
I voted for Trump.
I did too, but I'm also very aware that we're not trying to alienate anyone.
Also, I don't care if you voted for Biden. I just hope that you realize that you made a mistake.
Great.
But I straight up don't judge anyone based off of
political ideology.
Yeah.
I've got some incredibly good friends that are very left-leaning.
Our brother is
very left-leaning. So
your wife is more on the left side? No?
Very much not the case.
Wow. I thought she was.
Your wife used to be.
She definitely used to be. Yeah.
So we don't discriminate here. But yeah, so a couple of things that got really weird yesterday. Did you watch any of the video?
Yeah, no. So Mom was watching it live.
Right, yeah, she told me that.
I was walking him, and we had a dog trainer here. And she ran outside to bring us poop bags. And then came back in, and Dad was like, they just fucking shot him. And so Mom starts crying and freaking out because all she sees is the president, or
right,
Donald laying on the ground.
Former president.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from what you're able to see from the original footage that came out was Secret Service piled on him, got him up to his feet, and yanked him off the stage, which is what you're going to want to do in that type of situation.
Which in the middle of all that, he said, let me get my fucking shoes.
Yeah, he said, let me get my shoes.
And then wait, get the fuck off me.
Yeah, and then they cut the the audio
Yeah.
where it does look like he's saying fight, fight, or fuck you or something. Like he's definitely animated.
On Truth Social,
Mhm.
he did admit that he was saying fight.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's
Um,
whether you like the man or not. Like, there's only been one other president to take a bullet and then just try to keep going, and that was Teddy Roosevelt, who was, in my opinion, one of the top 5 all-time greatest presidents.
For sure. No, I agree. Also something that I realized yesterday for the first time, all of the assassinations or assassination attempts,
specifically on U.S. presidents,
specifically on U.S. presidents, have all been Republican.
That's
at heart. Yes.
Well, no.
So Reagan.
So hold on. You're specifically talking attempts now or actual assassinations?
Both.
Because 1,000,000% Abraham Lincoln was not a Republican.
100% he was.
I'm fairly certain.
No.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah.
He did. It was the Republican.
It was that weird switch thing.
Yeah, it was right when the parties were basically flip-flopping their ideals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've all been Republican.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what you can say about that.
No, it's just weird.
But okay, specifically talking about Trump, some of the things that I've noticed, because it prompted a very intense badger hole that me and a bunch of people that used to play Fortnite with were like on fast, and it was kind of crazy to see things happening in real time. Like today, there was a BBC video that came out where there was a guy in the crowd who was like, yeah, we saw the dude with the gun climb up to this roof, and we were telling everyone, and the cops were just kind of looking at us like what?
That dude with the orange fake hair.
Yeah, and he's got like a super bushy beard. Shout out to that guy, but I don't know. Like, it was, the whole thing is, it seems weird to me, and that's coming from like, I love conspiracies, and I'm very conspiratorially minded just because I don't trust fucking anything anybody says ever unless I can verify it. But like the Secret Service response team that had, it looked like Remington 700s to me, which is, they're probably gonna be chambered in 30-06 or 308. Like, they were already aiming the direction of the guy who pulled the trigger, and the guy's name has been released now.
But that's not proven yet. It's not.
No, that's just.
But with that being said,
looking at it from someone who like has been a target shooter and, you know, like is very Second Amendment oriented, like I love my guns.
Yeah.
I looked at that and I was like, what is happening? And then Dan Bongino had a video, which I haven't been able, like I didn't verify this, but where, because there were 2 Secret Service guys on
the roof right behind Trump.
Yeah, behind. Yeah. You could see that on the original video.
Just before the shooter was there, like the Secret Service, there is, I found this out in my research, there is 3 points of contact for roof shooters. So no matter what, whether it's a rally or a parade or whatever, there's at least bare minimum 3 Secret Service agents on rooftops or in a building or something, scoping the area.
Yeah, there have to be. I mean, that's any function with a former president, an incumbent president. If you have Secret Service detail, you're gonna have guns in the air, period.
What's weird is this motherfucker was wearing a gray shirt and camo bottoms on a white roof.
Well, yeah.
With an angle that people could have seen him at, where people did see him.
People did see him.
They saw him climbing up the ladder to get onto the roof with a
rifle slung.
And they're like, what the fuck?
Hey, that guy's not supposed to be there. He's obviously not part of Secret Service.
Yeah.
Because the guys that were a part of Secret Service with the big boy rifles, they were up there probably hours before this event, even before they allowed anybody in.
Well, and they also have to completely search head to toe the entire 100-yard circumference
Right.
or 300 yard circumference of the entire rally.
So the shots came, it's estimated between 200 and 300 feet away from
not
Trump.
far.
That's 100 yards.
Not even 100 yards.
Well, 300 feet is 100 yards.
Well, yeah, but
like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. The whole thing seems weird. And if you're a trained shooter and you are, even if you're just scanning the crowd and you see someone going, because you're supposed to be looking at that through the scope. Okay, what is that guy pointing at? Great, there's someone on that roof. They should have already been trained in on that guy, like scope to eye, ready to take that shot. Gun or not, you're not supposed to be there.
yeah.
Period.
No, I do agree. If they saw him, which they will release, they'll release if they.
They probably won't because the FBI is doing the investigation.
That's true.
And we know they love to keep stuff under wraps nowadays.
If they saw him beforehand and didn't shoot, then yeah, there's no.
Yeah, you're fired, bud. Like at the minimum, you're fired.
Well, also let's jump into the Secret Service aspect.
Hold on, because also the guy that was prone on the crown of that other roof, the other shooter, the other Secret Service guy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Once shots started ringing, he slid back down.
Yeah.
Away from the guy that shot Trump.
Yeah.
Which, like that, from a security standpoint, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to engage that threat and take it out. Well, and because of that indecision, because either they didn't see the threat,
someone in the crowd died.
Yeah. And two other civilians
were shot.
are hurt. And apparently, I don't know how true this is, but the guy that got shot, which, like, they haven't fully released his name, but it popped up on Reddit. So again,
Mark Violet was one of the people that got hit.
Sure, okay. But the guy that died apparently died because he was trying to shield his family, who were also at the rally. So I mean, like, if you're gonna go out, not that is better in any way, shape, or form, but you were trying to protect your family. So
there was 4 shots taken from the shooter.
Okay.
He released 4 rounds, and then Secret Service released 4 rounds.
See, so when I originally, like, when it first happened, that was the first thing I did was I was trying to count the gunshots.
Yep.
I was watching on my phone, and there was a lot of stuff happening. So I thought 10 shots.
And that could be possible. I haven't actually tried to count the shots.
I've done it many times, and I get a different number every time.
Okay.
Because I think that when Trump goes down and he hits the podium,
that sounds.
I think that it sounds a lot like it. Also, there is no.
Plus, people running on that podium, like on the.
Those don't sound like gunshots, but there's a mic attached to the podium, so when he hits it, it's the same as like that. That's going to make a loud noise, and I don't know how the audio for the cameras are, or how they picked it up, or anything like that. But every time I watch it, and it's been 5 or 6 times at this point, I get a different count for gunshots, which is not something that generally happens to
no matter what
that's been around firearms.
So the dude that shot him, his name was,
I've got it right here.
Yeah, I just don't remember.
He was a 20-year-old guy,
and literally as soon as Mom told me that, I was like, he's 17 to 21.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Thomas Matthew Crooks was his name, and that's on Wikipedia. This was updated 10 minutes after it happened, and it's been continually updated since then. So the total article, I'm just going to read it off real quick. On July 13th, 2024, which was yesterday, during a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, former President Donald Trump was shot in the upper ear by Thomas Matthew Crooks. After being shot, Trump ducked to the ground and was quickly surrounded by Secret Service personnel. He then rose, bleeding from his right ear and pumping his fist in the air before being rushed to a vehicle. He was then sent to a hospital and released in a stable condition, departing by plane to New Jersey the same day. The shooter and an audience member were both killed, and 2 other audience members are in critical condition. But I think Trump also got hit in the vest,
and
it looked like that the very first shot hit him because he spun like that, and then he got hit in the ear.
I don't know. That part's iffy to me. Because I've seen people being like, oh, he definitely got hit twice.
To me, it does look like it.
There's no way. So also, if Trump was facing the crowd, he would have been dead.
Right, but because he was pointing at a graph, that was off on the right-hand side.
And behind that graph was the shooter.
Yeah, behind and up and a couple of...
If he wasn't pointing at that graph...
Oh, yeah,
it would have temple.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, like, there are pictures... I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You want to talk about Secret Service? Now that you've got Takis in your mouth. Shout out Takis. They're not a sponsor, but Chandler loves them.
And I'm so sorry. I haven't eaten today. I've been moving shit and I'm fucking starving. So
yeah, we'll forgive you this time. You don't want to go on about Secret Service?
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that, like,
there's photos.
The aerial photographer, like, because, you know, there are obviously news choppers in the sky and everything, because it's Trump rallies are a big, any political rally is a big deal. But there's a picture after Thomas Crooks. There's Crooks. After Crooks was taken out by Secret Service, he's probably about 10 to 12 feet away from his rifle, which we don't have specifics on there, just saying it was an AR style rifle. But another thing that I did notice is that there was no discernible sound difference between the big boy caliber that the Secret Service was using and what he was using. And you can tell by the video that they were shooting suppressed.
Yeah, which means he was as well.
He must have been, and it was probably an AR-10.
Yeah.
So he was shooting something big caliber. And even if you get shot in the vest, I don't even care if you're wearing level 5 plates, you're going to break ribs.
You're going to feel it.
You're going to get hurt like that. Like, to be able to stand up after taking that amount of kinetic force at all is crazy. Especially get, like, the ear shot. Yeah, that's going to sting, but your adrenaline's going so far.
This motherfucker went, oh shit, and then dropped.
Yeah.
That's the only part that makes me think he didn't get hit in the chest, because if you get hit in the chest, you're not even going to feel your ear at that point. You're going to be like, oh, fuck.
And that's a valid point, too, because your body immediately starts pushing out that adrenaline and going, all right, fight or flight.
Like, I just got shot.
Right.
Hit the deck. You're not going to be like, oh, and then drop. Because he didn't drop as soon as he felt it.
Right, yeah.
He dropped as soon as he saw blood.
And he saw blood, and he was like, oh, that's bad news.
Yeah.
And then
that's the only thing that makes me think that he didn't get hit in the chest. I think that the 20-year-old Crooks, maybe he has shotguns, but he's not a trained shooter. From 100 yards, there's no reason.
If you know what you're doing with a rifle of any kind, anything.
But we also have to
22 could make that shot.
We also have to keep in mind that it wasn't his rifle, which means
it was his dad's.
How often does he shoot it? Well, and if you're shooting close enough, obviously aiming for the head and hit an ear, who's to say that it's just the sight wasn't on right? Like there's so many aspects to take that.
But you can also see that there's very little to no crosswind.
Yeah.
The conditions for shooting from a shooter's perspective were as perfect as you could get, especially because he was elevated and shooting down.
So there is a picture. I don't know if you've seen this one. I have TikTok, so there's like I get all of everything.
Right. I don't. So
there's a picture.
But follow us on TikTok.
There's a picture of whenever he's still pointing at the graph.
Yeah.
And that's when the shots started flying.
Oh, yeah, and you can see the bullet whiz past him. You can see a
bullet whiz past him. I think that's the first shot. I don't think that he got hit because second shot, no matter what, hit his ear.
Yeah.
Second shot hit.
Because you can hear it ring and then you can see him react to it immediately. But I also you can see him react to something when he does do a jerk motion with his body. It's all unfolding still. Obviously we don't know.
And Trump being who he is, he'll come out and he'll say everything.
He definitely will, even if the FBI tells him not to.
Yep.
Because
that's who he is.
He does. Love it or hate it, that's the way he operates.
He's an honest man. No, so I don't think that he got hit in the vest because you are correct. An AR-10,
that would fuck you up.
A 308,
even if it was just 223 or 556. whatever. Almost
5.56 might not have. You hear gunshots, your adrenaline starts pumping instantly.
Right.
A 5.56. Depending on what, if it's fucking hollow point or just FMJ, like there's specific round types that even if you are hit.
But okay, let's just take a standard 5.56 load, which is what, 63 grains.
Also,
that's not a ton of kinetic energy. Not as much as like a 30-06 with 184 grains, but that's like you're gonna feel that's gonna fuck you up.
Also, let's keep in mind that this is not just, he's not the military. He is Donald Trump, which means he's wearing vests and shit that aren't ever going to be released to the public.
It is very possible that he was wearing some, it wouldn't surprise me if his suit is like some John Wick shit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, actually.
So we got to keep that in mind. In a normal military grade fucking 5
even the civilian market,
you're gonna feel it, but he's not just.
That's true. That is very accurate.
I know Secret Service.
I hadn't even considered that.
I know Secret Service wears better shit than our military.
Well, yeah. I mean,
so
we live in a time where the military sometimes aren't even issued plates or carriers. It's no, you have to buy this yourself.
Yeah.
And level level 5 plates, the shit that will actually stop,
are fucking expensive.
It's like $1,200 a plate some places.
Unless you go with steel plates, but then you're carrying around 30 pounds of fucking steel on your front and then 30 pounds on your back. No one does that anymore.
You can't, you're always going to have an outline of your plate.
Yeah,
period.
you can't hide it.
It's a budget option, but you might also die just by taking a bullet to it.
But that's what my brain first thought or went to whenever everyone was like, oh, he was hit in the chest. He could have been. He didn't react because he's wearing shit that we will never see.
Yeah.
That's
possible.
But so to jump into the Secret Service, let's keep in mind that he is former president. Right?
Yeah,
he's not the president. So
he's not serving.
He this coming week is when he gets to handpick his Secret Service. He gets to pick his VP and his Secret Service this week, and 2 days from now. So the Secret Service that he was issued isn't just he probably knows them, but they're not his guys.
You're telling me that the people that were there protecting him at the rally were not his standard Secret Service guys?
I mean, they are, but they're not. They are, but they aren't. They have been with him for a while, but they are not the people that he got to go and handpick. Same thing with Obama. He still has Secret Service, but
from the time that he
that we pay for.
Yeah.
But we don't get to. He didn't get to pick those. It's just here's some Secret Service agents. Get to know them. They're gonna be with you all the time, everywhere you go.
I mean, if you're doing any sort of personal security, if you've ever done that line of work, a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't get close to the."
And that's incorrect.
To the person you're protecting, but that's not ever how that's going to work. You're spending so much time with these people, you have to have some level of attachment to them. Otherwise, why? Yeah, a paycheck is why I'm going to put my life on the line. No, never. That's not the case. I don't know. The whole thing it's insane, and we've never in American history had somebody that wasn't a serving president have their life attempted.
No.
So that's a first.
As soon as it happened, I was like, well, they tried to put him in jail.
Yeah, they did try to put him in jail.
In the past few weeks, they've been referring to him as Hitler, which just doesn't make sense.
That's been pretty much the whole time.
I mean,
had people say that.
Also, let's not forget, even if you do support Biden, last week, he stated,
"Yeah, we need to put him in the crosshairs."
It's time to put a target on his back.
Yeah, is that the actual quote?
Who the fuck says that?
I mean, to be fair, that is very specific. It's a very specific thing to say, and then to less than a week later have somebody attempt to kill the man like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that Biden put it out as like
No.
someone needs to kill. I don't think that that's what that was at all.
No, but still, like
It is.
there's certain things that you don't say, especially when you're leading a country.
Well, but then that goes back to Trump,
yeah,
and all his mean tweets and stuff, and
well,
people didn't like that, and
some people loved it.
I didn't mind it. At least he knew which world leader he was talking about at any given time, and then he knew who his VP was the whole time.
Yeah. Did you catch that Biden called Trump?
Yeah, he called Kamala Trump. Yeah,
and
then he called Zelensky Putin.
Yeah, and then was like, Putin, he's gonna beat Putin. It's funny.
I don't know. American politics right now are so volatile. And again, we're not putting this out to alienate anyone. That's not what this is about.
You obviously know where we sit, but that's not. We're not like fuck. What's his name? Dan.
Bongino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
he's got a little more skin in the race than we do.
Yeah.
Like he was Secret Service. He was a Marine.
Oh, that's not who I'm talking about then.
Oh, who are you talking about?
The dude that's always. Oh, well, if you vote Biden, you're fucking stupid.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a specific dude
I don't know who you're talking about, but
and don't get me wrong, I do know some people that voted for Biden. Most, not all, most of them are like, wow, I fucked up. Don't get me wrong, there's still people out there that still think he's the best president we've ever had.
That's the thing with party politics in general, right? Which is why like George Washington was like, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. Thomas Jefferson was like, yeah, that's really not a good idea, guys.
Yeah.
But now here we are, 200 and almost 50 years after the founding of our country, and you got two options, because really that's what it boils down to, is you've got the Republican candidate or you've got the Democratic candidate. And a lot of the times people pick the lesser of two evils. Like that's the way they rationalize it. And that's a shitty decision.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my vote, which does count, even though the Electoral College is also a sham, but whatever.
Yeah.
But you know that the Electoral College actually helps people
Yes.
in places like here, because our votes wouldn't count at all. But that is its own topic for an episode for sure. But
Wyoming's just so small in population, is what he's saying. So it's very
well, that's why we only get three electoral votes.
Yeah. So,
and it's generally Republican because people here are very
Republican.
Well, they're very conservative in their ideals. They're very Second Amendment happy.
Also like our land.
Yeah.
So it's like, but even with that being said, there is everyone's vote does matter.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But again,
so get out and vote, I guess, is
is
the moral of this specific episode. And
if you don't know who to vote for,
do your research.
Or just don't vote.
Well, no.
Straight up.
I would never.
Nope. I would say that.
Okay.
If you don't know, if you don't know shit about anything political, or don't vote.
Spend an hour Googling. That's really all it takes. No, because telling people not to vote is like literally the word. That's the downfall of democracy, and that's not at all what it's about.
And I'm not saying that at all.
Keep in mind
saying if you are on the fence or you genuinely hate both of them, don't fucking vote.
If you genuinely hate both of them, there are other candidates you can vote for. You can vote third party.
Yeah.
You can write in.
Not that. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Kanye for president. I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
Let's not do that. Ooh, that'd be rough. But no, the situation to me seems very fishy as it stands. Can you agree with that?
The only thing.
Well, okay, so before any of that, apparently Crooks was a registered Republican, and he had voted for Trump in 2020, which was like right when he had turned 18. But then as soon as Biden got sworn into office, he donated like $15 to a Democratic
liberal foundation.
A liberal foundation that was backed by the DNC, but it was to get people to go out and vote, which I mean that shouldn't be party politics at all. Like I don't care which side you're for. You're telling people to get out and vote. That should be your motto. That shouldn't be motivated by either ideology. And so he did donate to that group, and
so
no one knows what political which way this guy leans or anything.
If this was even a political agenda,
right?
Like
I would be willing to bet, because he's 20, there's a digital manifesto out there somewhere. We're not going to see that.
No,
we're not, because the FBI already raided his house. I'm sure his parents have been put through hell, and sometimes this stuff like this just boils down to mental illness a lot, like honestly. And it's unfortunate that we live in a society where like not everybody can get the help that they need. And that's a big deal.
The only thing that I find weird about it is that he was 10, 12 feet away from his rifle. But with that being said,
think he was trying to bolt.
I think, again, there's 4 shots. Yes, he's trained. Yes, they're trained to one shot, one kill. But who's to say that he wasn't hit in the shoulder and then was like, oh, fuck. And then headshot.
But there's no blood trail.
Yeah, there's
on the picture.
Okay, even when Trump was hit and did this, you didn't see blood right away. They're like
he did,
but we couldn't.
I guess that's true, but
it's not gonna fucking start oozing out.
The still picture taken from a helicopter after the kid was dead.
Right after he was dead.
Yeah, but like there would be blood. We deal with mysteries and conspiracies and stuff that doesn't make sense. I mean, look at literally any of our videos, and we don't have a good explanation for
most of the shit that we talk about.
Any of them. Truly, though, the Outlaw Pass, nobody knows what happened. Bigfoot, obviously, we don't know what the fuck's going on with Bigfoot. I think interdimensional space being.
I don't remember what I said.
I don't even remember if that's what I said, but that's the way I lean about Bigfoot. And then other stuff like the Zodiac murderer. Yeah, that was a real person doing
shitty things,
scary things, and terrifying an entire nation. But like that, he was flesh and blood. Like
he was a person.
He was a person, and just like in this situation, everybody affected was a human being.
No, 100%. And I seriously, all prayers go out to the people who lost the family member, or just were injured by it, or the people that had to witness that. Like
that's
it's a very traumatic
PTSD fuel.
Yeah,
right there.
It's a very, very traumatic incident. And I couldn't shit. Fucking, it probably gave mom PTSD. Like
probably, yeah.
Just people in general are affected by this kind of shit. And
well, I mean, I spent most of yesterday thinking like, fuck, we're about to be in a civil war.
Oh, for sure.
Like
I'm surprised we're not yet.
It scared the fuck out of me. And I think the only reason that we don't have
is because he's alive.
People marching the streets is because Trump wasn't killed.
Yeah. If the bullet was an inch to the right, or if he wasn't turned.
Yeah.
It would have been.
The country
would be fucked right now.
I mean, we're already pretty fucked, let's be real.
Yeah, but like real fucked. But next to get on to, he has a very, 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 very busy week this week.
Trump?
Yeah.
He
has 2 more rallies. He's also 100%. 100%.
You think that they're
100%.
100%. Man, if I was the head of his Secret Service detail, I'd be like, you are not going in public at all.
Again, this
and
is Trump.
I know he's gonna be like, well, I don't care what you say. The people need the Donald. I'm gonna be out there, and they're gonna see me, and I'm gonna be a beacon of hope.
No,
But it's like, no, dude, because
100%.
other people are definitely going to try to take shots at you.
100% he will carry on with his busy week.
I think that,
but
not that anyone related to Trump's campaign or anything, but I think if he's going to speak from this point forward, he needs to be encased in bulletproof glass, like the Pope.
He will be. That
I really hope so.
That he for sure will be, and there's still probably going to be an attempt on it. I foresee it happening. So you got to think about all the people out there. Oh, someone tried, didn't succeed. I'm gonna do it. That's gonna happen. There's gonna be another attempt on his life, and I don't know why I feel that way, but I do.
That's just one of Chandler's feelings.
Yes.
We obviously both hope that no one is going to attempt to kill anybody. That's not real life, though, unfortunately. But yeah, like at the end of the day, looking at the way things transpired, I think that the shooters on the roof could have done a better job.
Well, yeah.
That was my first thing, is like, what are those two guys doing?
Thank fuck that the 20-year-old
was not a good shot. He was obviously not trained.
That's what I thought first. Actually, first and foremost, I walked in and Mom was like, me, my wife, and the trainer for the dog walked in the front door, and Mom was like, had tears in her eyes, and she was like, I don't mean to suck, but Trump just got shot. And so I dropped my dog leash, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
That was kind of my reaction, too, when I started getting text messages about it. What is happening?
I was like, there's no way that this is happening, because if so, we are all fucked. No matter what political side you sit on, we're all fucked.
We're all pretty fucked anyway.
Yeah, but there's not a civil war going on right now.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And I do think that...
it would have.
I think that would have been the matchstick,
the cherry
in the kerosene pile.
Yeah.
Pile of kerosene? What? I think that if it were successful and Donald Trump was dead, then I think that things would look a lot different today in the US. So, knock on wood. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Same.
Our deepest condolences do go out for the families that have been directly affected by this. Even the parents of crooks. Like, I cannot, having a child of my own, and you've got one on the way, I can't imagine like how.
Yeah.
Because you can't like disown your kid.
Well, he's dead.
No, I know, but like you still want your child back, and obviously that's never going to happen. But like that's terrible.
And might I say that, honestly, who's to say that his parents weren't at that rally?
I don't think they were, because
you own a firearm.
He wasn't supposed to be at that rally, which is why he couldn't. He was trying to get into the crowd originally, according to some of the stuff I've seen, and he was denied permission. So he went around, found a ladder, got up on the roof, and that's another thing. How, if you're going to, again, not advocating just from a mind experiment, a mental experiment point of view, if you are showing up to a political rally with a rifle and you're like, I'm going to take a pot shot at the former president, how do you not have a plan in mind before you get there?
Also, you're not going to fucking lay on a white roof.
I mean, you are if you know nothing about silhouetting or like backlighting yourself, and you're just like completely oblivious, and because it's tunnel vision at that point, I would imagine. This is my one goal. This is what I'm going to accomplish. There's a spot I can get to.
It's a suicide mission. He knew he was dying.
You have to know.
Yeah.
You have to know if you are gonna dedicate yourself to that amount of violence against such a high value target, you know it's not going to end well for you.
No.
And so that, to me, that speaks more to mental illness. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Because
look at the dude that killed JFK, though. He was trained.
That's a whole episode in and of itself.
Well, yes, but like most of the time, people who are attempting to assassinate anybody, you're not gonna, unless it's mental illness, you're not just gonna fucking climb up on a roof and be like. Also, the first shot you take should be the one and only shot you fucking need.
Yeah, if you've got one target in mind, that is, but that goes back to training with your weapon.
Oh yeah,
and
just
I cannot stress enough. We're not advocating any sort of violence. That's not at all what this is. Nothing.
They know that.
But that, like, you have extensive shooting experience. I have a shitload of shooting experience. I've got personal security experience. Taking all of that into account, the way that things went down don't make sense. From the Secret Service and their reactions, and even some of the kit that the SWAT guys were wearing, I was like, what is this? Did you see that? So
they were fully teched out.
They were, oh yeah, because you're a SWAT responder. But like, there were dudes in all black, which okay, and there were dudes in like multicam.
So do you know why?
I assume that there's some sort of like private company that Trump hired.
So the all black was just SWAT. It was the city SWAT.
Okay.
The multicam was government, and they were the guys that were posted up in the trees and the buildings, and they were part of the Secret Service. And then there was the Secret Service. Also,
okay, so you're saying that there were multiple
even
groups there all at once.
Yeah.
Okay, and that would actually make some sense, but even like the way they were moving around, like after he was shot, like don't get me wrong, the Secret Service that jumped on the stage, I think they did the best they could have in that situation, because they should have already been posted up on that stage.
But Trump
is Trump, so he's probably like, you guys got to get off the stage. You're fucking with my vibe, and I get that. Yeah. I understand that.
You won't be like that anymore.
You don't want someone harshing your mellow when you're trying to motivate, thousands of people, whatever. But like, I don't know. Everything just it seemed very awkward to me. And if you're in that type of situation, even if you're just local PD SWAT, you should run through that training as soon as you know, okay, this is happening. This is where it's happening. I think you need to have all of that on lock.
I think that all of it was handled fairly well. Don't get me wrong, there was some things that could have been done
hindsight's always 20/20, and we're not out here putting our lives on the line.
Correct.
So
I would like to point out that it's hard because, again, we're not out there putting our life on the line. But if I was Secret Service, and if you watch the video, the first shot comes, all of them flinch and drop down a little, and then even one dude dropped to like his knees.
Yeah. Are you talking? You're talking the view from behind the stage?
Yeah. If you're Secret Service, no, I know I'm not there, but if I'm Secret Service and my one job is to protect that one fucking person,
that's the thing that keeps getting me. Is like,
I'm not gonna flinch and then be like, oh shit. You're around gunshots. Constantly.
You are. Well, you should be if you're training properly.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, a gunshot. No, it's, oh shit, a gunshot.
Yeah.
Get to target.
But again, because the sounds from Crook's gun and
I'm just saying the first initial shot was Crook's.
But what I'm saying is, if you're not used to hearing suppressed gunfire, sometimes, like, even at the gun range, I'd have dudes shooting 50 BMG 2 lanes over, and I'd be like, what the fuck are you shooting? And it's a 50 cal, but it's suppressed, so it doesn't sound like what you're used to.
Yeah.
So, but I will say that like dipping down like that is just, it's a knee-jerk reaction, and
instinct,
and their training should be put in place.
Overlap that.
Yes, big time. But also,
it's understandable.
It is. It is very understandable, but if that's your job, is to protect that person, you hear a car backfire,
and you jump on stage.
You should be up there like that.
Yeah.
So
that and the fact that Crook was 10 feet from his gun. That's the only weird shit in my eyes. But again, that goes back to Trump didn't handpick these agents.
Well, I know, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
You're there to protect somebody that at one point was the leader of the most powerful country in the world. At me in the comments if you don't think that's true. But
Don't at him.
like,
He's just being arrogant.
I'm not. America is a global superpower. And yeah, we've lost some standing in the last 4 years. But we have the most supreme military on earth. Like,
I don't believe that to be true anymore.
I don't know, man.
That's my opinion, though. I think everything that has happened in the last 4 years has changed this country very, very poorly.
Doesn't matter. If you're protecting a former president,
You're going to fucking jump on stage before you flinch.
if I'm one of the guys up on the roof, right?
If you see someone with a rifle, you're not going to second guess it. You're going to be
That's
like,
it.
get the president off stage and
that you're not even you're gonna send a quick like radio like
shoot on a building.
Yeah.
Boom.
yeah, guy with a gun, pop. That's
Yep.
it. That should have been it.
Yep.
So why did they? Not only did you not spot him when you're supposed to be surveying the entire crowd, and if there's a dude going or several people going, oh, there's somebody there, and you're just like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna, yeah. What are my Neopets doing? Like, that's not even a thing anymore. But
Well, so it is kind of hard just because the roof that he was laying on is the only one that was slanted away from the president or from Donald. Fuck. So,
it's the Donald.
excuse me. It was the only roof that was slanted away from him. So, no matter the trajectory of where they were versus where Crook was.
They had to have been able to see him.
Yes, but again, the backdrop was just trees. And he's on a white building, and all you can see is something poking up from it.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's all weird.
like the fact that
The fact that
He
he
was-
died
the-
on that
the
roof.
fact that he was that's not surprising because you're getting shot. And to me, it sounded like when the Secret Service took the shots, it sounded like it was 3 to me. Again, I haven't like slowed the videos down to count or anything like that. I've watched them from as many different angles as possible and counted because as a shooter, that's what you do is you count rounds. It's weird to me that like where he died was so far from the gun, from his rifle, that the Secret Service didn't take him out before he was able to get shots off. Like, that's the most astounding part to me, is that he was able to crawl onto a roof with a gun at all. People in the crowd were like, there's a guy with a gun, and nobody did anything to stop it.
Even the people in the crowd, though, like, this is just me. I'm also not embarrassed easily. If I see a motherfucker and I'm at a rally and I see a motherfucker climbing a ladder with a gun, I'm not just gonna be like, hey, there's a guy with a gun.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking throw shit at the president and I'm gonna be like, yo, there's a fucker with a gun.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna be like, that's weird.
Former president, but yeah.
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 They know what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, no matter what situation you're in, if you come up to me and I'm fucking Secret Service there and he's like, hey, there's a guy with a gun over there.
No,
I'd be like, okay, there's a lot of people.
Apparently, there was the police officers were around them, and they were telling them like, guy with a gun right there on the roof, and the cops were just kind of like, I can't hear you. But again, like I wasn't there. I don't know.
Again, there was guys with guns on roofs, Secret Service. So like they could have just been like, okay, like yeah, that makes sense.
And that very easily could be it. Also, to go back to the reaction of the Secret Service when that first shot rang out, when they all ducked.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear something like that and you are trained,
You're not gonna do that.
That's never ever do that, because your adrenaline starts pumping and time literally moves in slow motion when that is occurring.
And from what we know, there was only one guy that actually like fucking, which he should be fired.
He ducked whoa bad.
Yeah, he should be
But
by
everyone did
every
flinch,
single one of them was like this, which is
that is just a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
You, like, no amount of training. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there's some combat
John
vets
Wick
that
would flinch.
John Wick is fictional.
No, he's a real guy. I saw a Facebook video yesterday, and it was a daughter sitting on a couch with her 3 dogs, and the mom was like, if you have 3 dogs and someone breaks in and steals 2 of them, how many dogs do you have? He was like, 3. And the mom was like, no, if someone breaks in and steals 2 of them. And she was like, yeah, 3 plus a dead body. And the caption was like, I didn't know John Wick had a daughter.
Juanita Wick.
But, like, seriously, if extensive training, you shouldn't flinch even at all at a...
I mean, I'll debate that with you all day. But
Plus, it's not a 50 cal. It was something suppressed.
it does appear to be that way because the sound signatures were so indiscernible.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
people in the crowd said after that first one, we thought it was like a firecracker.
Well, yeah, because they're quiet because it was suppressed.
Yeah.
But even at that, okay, so if you're even 5.56 suppressed,
It was loud as fuck.
it's still loud. Like, the movies have given non-shooters this misconception that, like, a suppressor silences your gun and you can't hear it anymore.
The only gun that you're going to be able to fully suppress and actually potentially not hear,
Ruger Mark II.
or
22.
22.
It
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
22.
Yeah.
And they actually make single shot versions for the Navy SEALs that you have to unchamber.
I've seen that. So it's like, that's the only gun, for everyone watching, that's the only gun that you can actually put a suppressor on and not... You're still gonna
hear
hear
it. You just don't need ear pro
Yeah,
to shoot
it's
a
just-
suppressed 22 at that
It
point.
literally sounds like a...
Pretty cool.
And so, like, that also tells me, like, you're laying on a white building. He was probably under the impression of they're not going to hear where this shot's coming from.
Yeah, you're right. Which goes back to he was not very familiar with his weapon system,
So it's like,
which worked out in the interest
Good.
of everyone.
yeah, other than his family, because
Obviously, he did lose his life in this altercation,
Yeah.
but
it's all... But no, I started kind of jumping down the badger hole as well, and I was like, his family was clearly, as soon as I found out that it was his dad's gun, which was camoed. The rifle was...
not according to the picture I've got.
Well, the picture I saw, it looked camoed. Maybe I was wrong.
It was, so media is saying it was an AR style rifle, which
Yeah.
whatever. It was magazine fed, so
Yeah.
great. But so it could have been an AR-15, AR-10. It could have been one of the AR-47s that are out there.
Could have been a fucking 308.
An AR-10 would be either
Yeah.
30-06 or 308. But like I have a picture. I guess we could put it on screen if you want. But so we were gonna put a video up, but we can't find the one that we were both talking about, at least on YouTube.
Everyone has seen the incident.
Yeah. At this point, if not, I mean,
You can literally just
Just
Google Trump and
Trump.
it'll pop up.
yeah, first thing.
That
But there are a couple of different angles of video that have come out.
do show good and different things. Like, if you try to find the angle from behind Trump, that's the one where you see the Secret Service agent drop
really
to the ground.
flinch, yeah, like. But I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This is a terrible thing. Like, attempting to assassinate anyone, bad news. Don't try it.
Politician or not, like, you.
Well, if it's an assassination, it's somebody that's like if you got shot, it wouldn't be an assassination because we're not like important people, you know?
Well, unless someone hired someone, then it would be an assassination.
No, then it would just be like a hit job. Either way, it doesn't matter. So yeah, we might post some updates in our upcoming videos as more facts come forward, because like we said, we don't really know.
No one does at
no
this
one
point.
does right now. Everything's so up in the air.
So I used to ride bulls.
Yep.
There was he used to own a bunch of the bulls that would come to CFD.
Okay.
He was at this rally. He posted a picture. He was like, "God bless America." 12 minutes before he was shot.
Wait, the guy that used to
Own the Bulls. Yeah.
he got shot?
No. Right before. 12 minutes before Trump got shot.
Got you.
And it was just crazy to think about that someone that I knew was there. He was like, bullets came right over me. Like, I could hear them whizzing past me.
Yeah.
Which, as soon as he said that, I knew that they weren't 22.
No, of course not.
You're not gonna...
Well, that's not actually true. If you ever been downrange from somebody acting like an asshole and shooting 22 your direction, you definitely hear it.
Yeah. I mean, shit, you even hear airsoft.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Anything moving through the air with that much velocity, you're going to be able to hear. Depending on the caliber, sometimes you can feel it move through the air.
Moral of the story is try not to kill people, you know?
Yeah, don't kill anybody this week.
Ever. Just, like, your main goal in life should be to just be kind. Like, be not sucky.
Yeah.
And if you do have mental issues and you ever feel that this is necessary, like, just talk to someone.
Yeah, like just talk to somebody, because even like, I mean, I know there are options like BetterHelp and that kind of stuff out there, and they're not a sponsor, but they've done good things for people that I know.
They've also done a lot of bad things.
Yeah, sure, but like just, you know, find a friend that you can confide in, talk to your family. Like, I know that some people think that's not an option. Oh, I'm dealing with all these demons. Like, I mean, I've dealt with depression. I mean, fucking, we moved to this state, we were homeless. Like, we all lived in tents and stuff. Like we've had some dark days as well, and it's just, you have to surround yourself with people that are positive. Like, you've got to try to keep putting that positivity out there. And I'm not trying to get all, oh man, the vibes. Like, that's not what it is. It's just like, don't kill people.
Don't kill people. Also, like, if we do see Trump on stage again, not tomorrow, but the next day, which we will, I would put money on it. I could foresee him being in like a bulletproof cube.
Yeah, at a certain point, when it's your job to protect someone's life, and they, like, I don't care how much you fight me on this.
Yeah.
Like, someone has already tried to kill you this week, so you're gonna listen to what we say.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it goes in security. Like,
I mean, shit, if you get shot, like, if he does fight them on it, that just goes to prove how, like, this man is a millionaire. He doesn't need to be doing any of this.
That's true.
He's not doing it for money. He genuinely, like, he could fucking jump out of the race right now. I feel like most people would after getting shot at.
Yeah, well, and just everything else.
Yeah.
Like, everything else that
his life in the past year has been nothing,
hellacious.
Nothing but going to court and becoming a felon.
Having your home raided.
3 fucking times.
Yeah, but I don't think that the felon thing is going to stick because of what the Supreme Court just said, that anything that he did while president can't be tried for, which, man, if we start...
All of them.
Every president has had to do shit that
we would say shady.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's to protect us or not. Like,
and I say had to, like, not, I don't think all of them were, you know, necessary evils, so to speak, but there have definitely been situations where it's like,
you're just a piece of shit.
I'm sure that as president, there are days when you do feel like a piece of shit because, like, you know, you, with a brush of a pen, you can start a war.
Yeah.
Like, I know people think it's not that easy and there are more steps to it, but at the end of the day, that's a reality.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And like, that's got to weigh on your conscience. I wouldn't want to, I would never want to.
I don't think that I've ever been shot at. I've definitely been held at gunpoint, and like, my life has been threatened before, and it's not fun.
No, it's bad news.
Like, I can imagine actually getting hit with the bullet is way worse.
Way worse.
And I've had a gun pointed in me, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's very scary.
So, like, props to him for just standing up and telling his agents to get the fuck off him. Like,
let me grab my shoes. That was the funniest thing to me. Because like,
well, so I don't know if you can also find his mic audio because he has his mic,
right?
And then he has a mic on him. As soon as he hits the ground, he was like, as soon as they climbed on him, he was like, I just got fucking shot. And then as soon as he starts standing up, he's like, let me grab my fucking shoes.
That's such a reaction though, you know,
Yeah.
like, because like everything does move in slow motion, and your body is pushing out so many chemicals that it doesn't affect everybody the same way, obviously.
No. But also, what was it, 3 years ago? Maybe he might have been in office still, actually. Whenever they thought there was a gunshot at one of his rallies previously, and it was behind him, and he turned around really fast to like, have you seen that clip at all?
No.
It wasn't a gunshot, it was someone dropping their phone, but it dropped face down.
Yeah.
And so they thought it was a gunshot. And he like turned around and was like ready to fight.
I mean, maybe he's just got really good firefly instincts. Like, I don't know. But I think we're going to wrap up here soon.
Yeah.
But so Reagan got shot.
Yep.
And then it was a couple weeks later, he was giving a speech and a car backfired. And so Secret Service started to like, they started to like come at him, and he was like, he literally just did this. When like something that sounds very much like a gunshot rang off. So say what you will about Reagan, but like, man, that balls of steel.
and Bush, he wasn't shot.
Senior or junior?
Senior, I think. Was it senior that the nade got thrown at him in Georgia?
Maybe.
Who the fuck was that? Was it Reagan?
No, Reagan's was it was a 38.
No, he
pistol.
got hit.
He did get hit.
Okay, so yeah, it was Bush. Yeah, it was during 9/11.
Then
So
it would be
Junior.
George W. Bush.
Yeah.
W. Oh, funny story about George W. Bush. Just there's a street in Wellington, Colorado that we drove down not that long ago, and it was G.W. Bush Road.
Mm-hmm.
And Google, because you know you're navigating and the voice tells you Gigawatt Bush, Gigawatt Bush Road.
Yeah.
I was like, that's hilarious to me.
But like, he got a grenade. He was in Georgia, so he wasn't in this country. Not Georgia, the state.
Georgia,
the country. And someone threw someone threw a grenade on stage.
I don't remember hearing anything about that, but
I didn't know it happened until yesterday because I was like, who all has been attempted and not been successful? And quite a bit. But never not while they were in office.
Right. Yeah. It's always been serving presidents that get their
my
lives attempted.
My grandfather-in-law.
Pop?
Yeah. What is he? My wife's grandfather.
Yeah, your grandfather-in-law, I guess. Yeah.
He texted me yesterday. He was like, they couldn't beat him in a fair contest, so they tried to throw him in jail. And when that didn't work, they had to give him a headshot. And the fucker's still fucked up, or he's still in the race or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah. You think at one point, but because of that, it's just gonna keep.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Like once you get to a certain point, you're just like, well, like what else are you gonna do to me?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's, rock bottom for Trump. Like I don't feel like that's the case, but
I feel like Trump has more supporters now, even before he got shot, than he has ever.
Well, people are tired. I
Of
watched
spending $1,700 on fucking rent
or
gas a month.
gas. Dude, I saw a video on Reddit the other day, and this guy was like, I was going through my Walmart app, and I saw this little button that said reorder.
Yep.
So for 53 items 2 years ago,
$222.
No, it was 114, I think. And then he clicked the reorder button, and so it added everything else back to his cart, and it was $484. And he's like, in 2 years?
Yep.
But inflation is 3%.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone that has to pay for stuff believes that number.
I got a Snapchat memory, and it was me and my Bing Mobile.
Mm.
This was 5 years ago.
The dopest car that's ever run.
Yeah. It was pretty great.
It was not. It was scary.
But I was at a gas station and I took a picture of the price, and it was $1.62
a gallon.
a gallon, and then now it's $3.50.
318 is what it was yesterday when I filled up on his car.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 70s, we saw it as high as $5. In my lifetime, I've seen it as high as $5, but I know that it's hard. It's hard right now because
Yet there's still people out there that are doing just fine, and it confuses the fuck out of me.
they've got really good jobs. I don't know. The amount that people are making has not kept up with inflation, and a lot of people.
I mean, fuck,
are struggling.
They're just laying people off because they're making too much money now.
Yeah,
the amount of people.
I don't want to talk about layoffs right now. It'll get pressed.
But like seriously, it's shitty.
It is shitty. It's bad, especially when you're the sole provider for a family of 4.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, we don't need you to work here anymore.
Mm. And genuinely, like, they do that with so many fucking people now.
Yeah.
Just because they are paying them too much. Instead of being like, hey, I'm going to take $5 from you.
If I ever had a company that told me they're going to pay me less to do the same job, I would quit on the spot.
But yeah.
But at least I guess the option is there. You can still make money while you look for another job.
Well, also, if you're making $50 an hour and they say, hey, we're going to bump you down to 40, you're not going to be like, okay, you're going to look at it like, okay, my job's not that hard.
It depends on what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. But like,
I've had welding jobs where I was welding vessel containers for SpaceX fuel, and like I was making $25 an hour.
Yeah.
And that was very highly like specially trained shit. Like I had to go to school to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just stuff's hard. Just know that we feel you if you're out there struggling. If you need somebody to talk to, I wouldn't do it in the comments section, but you can email us at badgerholepodcast@gmail.com. And that's for real. Like if you're out there and you're alone and you just need somebody to vent to about the trials and tribulations of life, we get it.
This will be the one and only time that I say to email us.
Wow, I got Chandler to agree to the email.
But seriously, like there's so many people out there that feel like they can't talk to anyone. And I was pretty big on social media about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that just needed someone to talk to is absurd.
For sure. Like, and I really don't, I've never really done the social media thing, but like I've been in situations where it's like, okay, I left my family, I moved states away.
And that shit sucks.
And
dude.
like I'm
alone.
Even if you're like surrounded by friends, whatever,
you're
like
alone.
Like you feel alone a lot. And that's hard. Like that can really mentally drain somebody quickly. So
it also just changes you as a person.
It does.
Like whenever I came back from Gillette, I'm not the same person that I was.
No, you're way more responsible now because like you had to figure your shit out fast.
Yeah, because
you went from being
that,
a shithead 19-year-old kid to driving the largest vehicles on earth and like having to support you and your wife.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of step out of your comfort zone. It's hard, but it helps you, believe it or not. And some people are going to tell you otherwise, but genuinely stepping out of your comfort zone, especially if you do have depression.
Just reaching out and talking to somebody can be the biggest motivator to like help change your life.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like, this is everything that's going on with me. And then putting it out there so someone can empathize. That can be huge.
Yeah. Well, I know you don't know him, but Sketch, there's a whole thing going on with him right now.
I don't know who that is.
It's some famous YouTuber, streamer person, but like he probably would have taken his life if someone hadn't just talked to him. All he needed.
All it takes. A lot of the time, that's all it takes.
Yeah. But we are gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This video we are recording on a Sunday. It's probably not gonna be up tomorrow. It'll probably be up on Tuesday.
Works for me.
And yeah, let us know what you guys think about the entire situation. And God bless America.
Yeah, and so we're out.
Deuces.